to you. It's Christmas Eve on Evan and Tiki on the Fan. Evan off with like 30 family members to North Carolina. Shaun, Tiki, Tommy, Rami here as well. A lot of fun planned today, Tiki. Some football on the mind. A lot of the holiday intricacies we like to do on a show like this. How the hell are you? I haven't seen you.
Fantastic. I know. Where have you been?
My daughter's birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Taylor.
Yes, it was Taylor's 6th birthday.
I guess right.
Yes, you did. And I would urge anybody out there thinking about in 3 months possibly procreating a kid, December birthdays are the absolute worst. Cost you a fortune. The last thing you need is a million other things to do before Christmas.
Trust me, I know. Brooklyn is the 29th.
It's brutal.
Yes. Or 27th. My mom's the 29th.
27th to 29th? You've had to deal with this your whole life?
My mom's the 29th, and Brooklyn is the 27th.
Oh.
Yes, it's non-ending. Tracy today was like, do we have enough gifts? For her birthday?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I hope you bought them.
Exactly. And then you don't know what the heck to give for the birthday, what to give for Christmas. It doesn't end. But either way, another $120 towards a hibachi and sushi dinner down the drain last night, and away we go.
Love it.
But now we're back in here. All right. Tiki, I'm looking forward to a Merry Christmas. I'm tired of watching miserable football. We all are. This all comes to an end in 2 weeks. And I think there's a potential for a Christmas miracle in the Giants' hands. And
Why? Because they're going to win a game and it's going to be meaningless? And, hey, we're 3-13, and guess what? We lost the number 1 overall pick. What Christmas miracle could possibly happen?
By the way, I did dread that when I was working with you today. I'm like, damn, the Giants really need to lose Sunday. I don't know if I want to argue with Tiki about that. It's coaching. It's coaching. And Evan has pounded the drum about Mike Tomlin being the next head coach of the New York Giants.
Yeah, that's not happening. They're winning 10 games going to the playoffs again.
And might win, actually, a playoff game this year. What's ironic, though, is that entire division outside of Mike Tomlin might be looking for new head coaches, and that includes the Baltimore Ravens. And anybody who saw that game Sunday night and the Raven collapse and inexplicably taking Derrick Henry out of the game and Harbaugh being at a loss for words for it, well, John Harbaugh now, suddenly the murmurs have happened. And I want you to listen to a piece of audio that emerged this morning as John Harbaugh, Tiki, you're very good at deciphering this, was flat out asked if he will be returning as the Ravens coach next year.
Do you anticipate being here next year?
Yeah. Thanks for asking that question, Bo. Well, first of all, yeah, no, that's good. It's a great question. I mean, this is sports. This is how it works, And one thing I always have believed is that, first of all, coaching at any level is a day-to-day job, and your job is to do the best job you can today, and to do everything you can to help your players and your coaches, if you're a head coach, be the best they can be every single day. And it's never been about keeping a job, and there's no such thing as like your job or my job. We have responsibilities. We're given opportunities to steward those responsibilities, and you're given a job to do that until you're not, and then you try to do the best. I try to do the job, not try to keep the job, because there's no such thing as having a job, just doing a job. And so my focus is on always, and has been for the last 18 years here and the last 41 years in coaching, or is it 42? It's up there. It's been to try to do the best job I can today and fight as hard as I can so the guys can have the best chance to be successful today. And anything after today, I'm not thinking about. Because, it's not given for us to think about. We don't have control over that except for the job we do today. And if we do a good enough job today, then the opportunity to do that job or a different job will be there tomorrow. And that's what you hope for.
Wow.
That was a
answer.
long non-answer, Shaun.
It certainly wasn't a yeah. Why wouldn't I be back?
And you know what it sounded like he also was saying right there at the end? Is that if I'm not here, I will be somewhere else next year. This isn't I'm going to take some time to think about it. This is if they don't want me, I'm going to get a head coaching job someplace else. You look at his career. He has had 8 or 9 double-digit win seasons in 18 years, maybe more than that. It's probably 10 double-digit win seasons in 18 seasons. He's obviously
179 and 112 career.
Right, but he's won that one Super Bowl. It feels like he's always close to getting another one, but he just never has got over that hump. It is almost exactly like Mike Tomlin.
Yes.
Been here, Mike Tomlin's 19 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. John Harbaugh is 18 years with the Baltimore Ravens. And I think that the difference is that the Raven fan is not tired of John Harbaugh yet. It doesn't feel like they're tired.
No.
The Steeler fan is just getting tired of losing in the postseason. So I think the winning in the postseason is what helps John Harbaugh still have job security despite that non-answer when asked about his job security.
Correct. And so John has obviously been with the Ravens since 2008, and we all know the deal here, right? We saw the end of Tom Coughlin come and go. There just comes a point in time with most franchises where even in success, it just feels like it gets stale, right? And maybe out of nowhere when we thought this was going to happen with Tomlin, there seems to be breadcrumbs falling that way in Baltimore. This has been an enormously disappointing season for them. You throw in the fact that the Chiefs aren't making the playoffs. This could have been tailor-made for a Lamar Jackson, Harbaugh, Raven team to finally go to the Super Bowl together. And now with everything that's happened, and last week was a brutal week with the way the Steelers upset the Lions and obviously what happened with the Ravens at night. The Ravens could lose Saturday night to Green Bay. The Steelers go play the Browns, and the Ravens don't even survive to Week 18 if that's the case.
Right. They lose out on the – because they have to win out. The Steelers have to lose out.
Correct, and they play each other last week.
Right, in order for them to have a chance to get into the postseason. And so, I mean, one bad season. So let's say he's under 500. It would be only the second time in the last, decade. So if he's under 500, and the only way he gets fired is if the Lamar Jacksons and the stars on this team, the Derrick Henrys, start saying, yeah, it was kind of the coach's fault.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and I don't think they'll do that.
But Derrick Henry can't be happy about what happened Sunday night.
He can't be.
Yeah. Now, look, you might be right, and this could be a whole bunch of nothing. But I thought Harbaugh answering it that way certainly sounded like a guy who maybe he's done with Baltimore a little bit and wants to split. Now, why does this pertain to everything with the Giants? We have gone over and over and over because it feels like Brian Daboll got fired before the season, even though it's only been 6 weeks. And we keep hearing this word, CEO type of head coach, right?
Yeah,
everywhere you turn.
That's John Harbaugh.
The Giants are looking for a CEO type head coach. And I saw the clip yesterday. I tried to avoid some of the FAN stuff. And there's Tommy screaming and yelling about Andy Reid. I guess he did a Cinco on it yesterday. And I think Tommy's sniffing around the right area. Now, I don't think Andy Reid would ever leave Kansas City and not retire and then take the Giant job. I don't think that makes sense. But I do think John Harbaugh presents the type of Andy Reid look the Giants would be looking for. In fact, I know he's older than Andy Reid was at this time, but this reminds me a lot of when Andy Reid in Philadelphia's time came to an end. A guy that had been to multiple championship games. He made a Super Bowl. He did not sit out a year. He went right to Kansas City, and the Chiefs have been humming since. And that was right time, right place for the Kansas City Chiefs to fall into a head coach. In the past, Tiki, when it comes to the Giants, if you look at all the great head coaches that have been hired over the last 10 years, whether it's, the McVays or Shanahans or any of these innovative minds, it always feels like the Giants are a year off on those coaching cycles. They're always a year off on when these other guys get hired. Now this year, we know Daboll's out. Kafka, forget about it. Maybe they're in line for the right year. I thought this would be the wrong year. If Harbaugh's available, because at 63, he's not going to sit out a year if he leaves Baltimore.
No, you heard it when in that answer he just said.
And
if there's another job, I'll be in another job.
And if it's Harbaugh wants to leave, we've talked about the potential of whatever openings happen. And, okay, sure, could he be interested in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow? I guess that's possible. But the Giants with Jackson Dart and a young quarterback, you don't want to go somewhere and have to worry about the most important position either.
Right.
I think this makes a lot of sense, Tiki, and I think through all the crap that we've been through for Giant fans, if they somehow walked out of this with the CEO-type head coach being John Harbaugh at 63 years old, I think that's his best-case scenario under all the problems the Giants have had. The
pushback I would have is that John Harbaugh is a special teams coach by nature. He's
correct.
Actually, forget that. That's what he was before when his 40s, early 40s, 30s. He was a special teams coach. He hasn't been a special teams coach in forever. He's been a head coach for a long time, 18 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens. But the expertise that I feel like this team needs is creating either defensive mastery, which I don't know if he provides that, or offensive mastery. And I don't know if he provides that either. Now he's smart and he's got high football IQ. He knows all the X's. He knows all the things that most people couldn't even dream of thinking about, much less knowing intimately. But he's not the executor. He's not the Kyle Shanahan. He's not the Sean McVay. He's not the Brian Flores. If you're thinking about these guys, or the Vance Josephs that are innovating offense and defenses around the league. And so the only way this makes sense to me is if he hires an unbelievable staff.
Okay, so I agree. And you have hammered this home. Tiki, if you've taught me anything this football season, we like to walk away from every season learning something. It's the importance of a staff.
100%.
I've been stealing that line and using it on an old 43 Giants podcast I do.
Nice.
It's why I'm anti-Marcus Freeman at this point for the job, because I don't think he has enough NFL experience. 18 years in the league. John Harbaugh has worked with more than enough guys who have enough guys, and he's more than well respected around the league. If you didn't know him,
that's fair.
And he was targeting you,
that's fair.
And just look no further than he just identified through his brother's connections McDonald, who ended up going to Seattle to come in and be his DC after Wink Martindale. He was smart enough to cherry pick that from college. I think this is the one head coach I look at, and I think slam dunk. I trust that he will put the right staff in place.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you, because the Mike McDonald hire in Seattle kind of surprised people, because he didn't feel like he was, I don't know, the best defensive coordinator in football. But working under John Harbaugh, you become a leader. You become someone who can not only manage a roster, but you can manage your coaching staff. And like, John Harbaugh is interesting. He really is. I wouldn't be against it. I worry about getting that excellent play designer, either offensively or defensively. It's kind of what I feel like the Giants need, even though the leadership part of it is a requisite part of it. Right.
Yes.
So that's why you're starting to get, the Marcus Freemans of the world that are mentioned. The obviously, what's his name from the Cowboys? Why am I forgetting his name?
The Cowboys offensive coordinator?
No, the former head coach.
Oh, McCarthy.
McCarthy. Yeah, Mike McCarthy, because he's a leader. Right. The Giants are going to need to hire a leader.
Yes.
Someone who is unambiguous about what the main thing is. And I think sometimes with some of these coaches the Giants have brought in, the main thing has not been the main thing. It's been ego. It's been, I don't know, vendettas. It's been, I'm just trying to prove myself. It's just everybody's against me. It's like work as a team and find a way to create success in a successful environment. And then, trust me, the players will buy in.
Correct. Yeah. So, look, this is the way I view it. I'm operating under the assumption, I forget what I actually want or if I would be innovative. Like, I'm in love with Kubiak, the OC from Seattle, but I have no idea if he could be a CEO-type head coach. If I'm operating under the assumption the Giants want and are focusing on a CEO head coach, and we've heard Mike McCarthy, and we've argued about that. Me and Tommy have yelled and screamed. We've heard about Marcus Freeman. And, look, there might be a Stefanski available. There might be a Zach Taylor available coming soon, and those will be other guys I'm sure we will discuss if and when they become available. John Harbaugh, to me, represents something I didn't think was available or would actually be possible the moment Brian Daboll got fired. 18 years of experience, a Super Bowl winning head coach, and a guy who has gotten it and been competitive year in and year out, and also was a guy at the time with Greg Roman that was really amenable and forward-thinking when they drafted Lamar Jackson into having an offense put in place to make him be successful early on.
Yeah, so he's adaptable.
He's adaptable.
Yeah.
That checks...
He's not locked in his way.
No, and that checks a lot of boxes for me, because I think you have to be as the Giants head coach.
No, you have to be, because you don't know what kind of players you're going to get.
Yes.
Right? I think Andy Reid is a prime example of this, because Pat Mahomes was very different than the quarterbacks that he had previously had. And so all of a sudden the offense became about what's the best strength for your quarterback. You saw the same thing from going from Joe Flacco in Baltimore to Lamar Jackson.
Right.
I mean, how different of a quarterbacking situation is that? And so the adaptability is what I like a lot about John Harbaugh. And I know he can coach, and I know he can motivate, because you've seen it year over year over year with very different rosters throughout his 18 years in Baltimore.
So Giants fans, 888-808-1019, knowing what we know about the Giants coaching search and knowing now that John Harbaugh, I won't even call it a hot seat, it just feels like it's more possible than it's ever been that there will be a parting of ways in Baltimore. Should he jump to the top of the list, and would that save Christmas for the New York Giants if John Harbaugh became available? 888-808-1019. There's another element to this Baltimore Ravens situation and story, and that is the future of the quarterback. I asked that question when it ties into the New York Jets when we return, and we won't have Evan screaming at us why, no. So me and Tiki can actually breathe that conversation a little life. 888-808-1019. It's